Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy CP, and I'm here with your official Start Here for Beginner guide. I'm going to go over a bunch of things to make sure that you're set up, able to trade, funded, know how to place a trade, know how to access a platform, and most importantly, being able to take our trades, whether you're in a free community, in our mentorship, or in our private community, right? So I'm going to go ahead and begin with this journey. Please make sure you take notes, and I'm going to create a PDF that you can kind of follow along with the links, Trading View, the Trade Locker, the entire dashboard, so you're able to have everything set up. So let's jump into it. So the main things we're going to go over is obviously our trade registration, show you how to set that up from start to finish, everything you need to know from the back end, being able to use the AI coach to track your P&L, how to transfer funds. I'm going to go through that whole layout. And of course, I'm going to give you a walkthrough of Trade Locker, how to place a trade, how to set a pending limit, how to close a trade, look at your P&Ls, how to move your stop loss, a really nice overview. Then I'm going to break down Trading View, your simple chart structure, and then what you need to do when you're looking at a trade in terms of your risk management and your R2R. And then, of course, I'll show you the Telegram. I'll probably show you that first, and so like how to take a trade, how we send the trades, the frequency of trades that, it's been unstoppable. I'll scroll back to like June, hence you're watching this video right now in August, right? And then, of course, operating and executing. Also, the first thing I want to say, my name is Coach Platinum. I only have one Instagram, and there's only one Money Heist page. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that so you guys are all on the same page. This is the only page that we have, and this is the only Instagram I have. So just be aware of the fake pages and the random pages that I will personally never hit you up, right? So keep that in mind. Obviously, you'll see a lot of the reels and the content and the results. We just completed a 100K month documented live. We're able to withdraw. We'll withdraw that $70,000 withdrawal. The crypto transaction, right? Here live in Dubai when this took place. So, a lot of things are possible. I think the previous one before that was in the earlier of July. Yep. This was July 12th. Did like an exposed video, and this was 65. So 65 and 70 is like 130 something across the board. So, that's a really good video, right? 2 weeks ago. So, like I said, we have one gram, and I have my one personal gram, Instagram. Other than that, let's kind of jump into it, right? So once you click and set your link up, you're going to come onto the platform, and you can either do a corporate account or individual account. You're going to choose individual, and I actually created a demo email, and I'm going to go ahead. It's called Live Sessions Reloaded at Gmail, just so I can show you the full onboarding experience. So let me go ahead. So I created a fresh email, so I want you guys to see everything from how we set up the accounts and the emails and the steps you need to do, so you have a full visual of what to expect across the board. So we already put our email, our password. We're going to hit continue. We're going to call this John Paul. Let's do 213-222-4056. We'll do 123 Main. And we'll do United States. Go ahead and create the account. Okay, got it. Change my password. One sec. Okay, that's done. Creating an account. And the first email you'll get is a welcome email. So I'll go ahead and show you that so you're fully aware of how everything works step by step. All right, so accounts created. I can go ahead and sign in. Click the link to verify. Look, confirm your email. You'll come in here and hit confirm email. Boom, now I'm good to go. I saved the password. I'm able to sign in. All right, I'm finally in. A little intro video.
The market doesn't reward average.
You guys can watch it a long time. So we have a few things that we'll go over on here. Really love the layout. Definitely think there's a lot to go in store. So the first thing I always recommend is verify yourself. You'll come in here, verify your information. You have to submit an identity document like an ID, passport, and then proof of address can be a utility bill or a bank statement. Once you're verified, you'll see it say KYC approved, and then you'll be able to deposit and withdraw freely. So this is a dashboard, right? This is going to show you where the money is, right? If you're here for copy trading, you can plug in here. For trade signals with our community like Money Heist, you'll be able to connect straight through here. If you're putting funds into our PAM, you'll be able to add funds through here. Now, the 10X challenge is kind of like a prop firm where you're able to 10X your capital. So let's say $1,000 you start with, you'll get $10,000. But the risk management is you can't lose a bunch. Market Watch I like because it shows you, I mean, this is fire, right? This is going to show you all the different asset pairs, you know, their spreads, what they've done in the last couple hours, and then you can go straight here and trade once you have it connected to your account. Under here, this is a live terminal that gives you live news and a full breakdown, right? This is Bloomberg Business News Live that you can tune into. I could change it to Sky News, CNBC, Yahoo. So what I do is when I have my other trading screen, I leave this up so that I can kind of see what's going on and then look for updates. You can also dive in and look at the different cams, live cams across the world, like New York, Tokyo. And then, of course, if I come here, it's going to show me all the news related to the markets, right? So Czech Republic credit ratings affirmed, A++ with stable outlook, commodities, imports, stock markets USA, stock markets Canada, what's actually happening and when. Then you got the AI analysis. Obviously, we haven't took any trades, but it will analyze your trades, right, to see a full AI-powered breakdown. I think that feature alone is fire because, you know, on other platforms, you have to pay, like Market Edge, $50 a month. This is all in-house with the platform. And then, of course, you got your economic calendar, which is going to show you all the upcoming news across the different pairs, across the different time zones, when they come actual, what the forecast is and what's prior. And then you can come on here and set alerts, and you'll also get that alert 15 minutes before in your email. You can choose high impact news, medium, or low, and of course the symbols. So anything affecting, let's say XAU USD, I can look, and then of course it will show me the sessions, right? So right now in a couple of hours, the New York session technically opens, right? And then you have London, Tokyo, and Sydney, right? And it'll tell you the local time and the time where you're currently at for one of the 4 sessions open now. And it's fire because you can always see what's happening across all time zones and what's the most active pairs to trade, right? And then if I want to just go straight into trade, I could hit trade now and it will open up. So, you know, I really love Market Watch. You know, it's really integrated and it's just one of the cool things. Now, also, you have a full academy here, which is video courses that will break down forex trading, crypto trading, stocks, CFDs, commodities, indices, social trading, trading styles, trading psychology, technical indicators, technical analysis, fundamental analysis. Really cool to just, you know, especially if you're starting out, whether you're in my community or another, you know, this is just that first layer that I recommend everyone go through. You also have the ebooks that you can download, you know, which are like quick 20-minute reads, 16 minutes, crypto, commodities, fundamental analysis, trade psychology, just a lot, trading strategies, technical analysis, just a lot to get your feet wet and understand, you know, the market that you're in. Then there's also a glossary, which is having the terms and terminologies, you know, altcoins, anonymous trading, appreciation, asset, arbitrage, at the money, Aussie, you know, away from the market, balance of payment, just so you can understand terminology, you know, as you're studying and learning things across the world. And I mean, it's really like CPI, what is it, news-based, initial consumer price index. It is a statistical measure that tracks the changes in purchase power for currency as well as the rate of inflation. For example, CPI is a news event that we trade with gold, right? So super, super important, right? Difference between cold wallet and cold storage. So a lot of just insightful educational information. You should submerge yourself into this, right? Like whether you're new or intermediate or just trying to get to a level of, like I said, I've been able to get to 100K a month, you know, from being really analytical and kind of diving into this as like a full-time thing. So I recommend you do the same. And then of course, your calculator. So let's say, for example, if I'm trading gold and I start my account with 10,000, I'm looking at 2% risk with, like in our community, we use a 60 pip stop loss. I hit calculate and it's going to recommend my position, right? With that risk at 2%. If I want to do 1%, it will show me I can trade up to 1.6 lots, right? It shows me the pair, the pip size, the contract, the account balance, how much I'm risking at when you trade to see what your risk is, measure your risk to reward. And of course, I'll show you that more as we go through this video. Real quick, I can jump in and show you Gen Social, where we have our copy trader. Oh, well, I don't have this set up, but my username would be like John Paul 22. And it will show you all the different copy traders that you can connect to. All you would do is copy and connect to that strategy. You can see from top ROI, top P&L, followers. Now, under here is signals, where we'll be connecting and having our signals that you can automatically connect to and be able to copy that trade directly, like a tap to trade, straight onto your trade locker account, and it will place the trade and you'll be able to, take that trade. So we have a lot of dope and exciting things coming together for our community, and this is just honestly the beginning. Remember I mentioned the next account. If I was to create it, you would choose, once you can't lose more than what you deposit. So even if you have $20,000 funded, if you lose $2,000, you automatically terminate the account. So I always say, hey, listen, just stay with your live account, use your proper risk management, and you'll be perfectly fine. Now, let's go back to the dashboard. So we're here, and our first step is going to be creating an account. Want to create a live account? We'll create a demo as well because I want to be able to show you. So I'm going to call this practice. ECN leverage should be like 1 to 3, 1 to 4. Cool. It's going to send my credentials, right, to my email. And that's just it. You want to have your email handy so you can see all these emails that come in. And I'll show you, of course, what that is, right? It will give us our credentials for the demo, and we'll be able to log in and place trades and, execute efficiently. Boom. So our demo account's created, account type. Now we can go over to our email, and it says we claim the username. Perfect. This is my trading credentials. So I'm going to just copy this real quick, and I can literally hit Trade Locker login, and it will take me directly there. So all I'm going to do is copy and paste. It gives me a password, which you can change at any time. But just to log in, you want to, and the server is going to be Gen FX. You're going to go ahead and log in. Accept. Perfect. And this is our $10,000 account. So I'll go over this in a second, and I'll start with the crypto market because it says the current trading market is closed and doesn't open to an hour, right? So now that we have that here, we're going to go back to where we are. So now I'm going to do the same thing for a live account. I'm going to call this the scalper, right? And I'm going to choose 1 to 300, and I'm going to create the account. And what's cool is this allows you to track every trade, everything you do. So if you go right here, you'll see it will refresh. We got the demo account, we got the live account. Perfect. So I'm going to hit view, and this is going to show me everything. It's going to show me my open P&L, closed P&L, how much equity I have, what's my balance, my performance, between all 1 year, 3 months, 1 month, 7 days, 24 hours. This is my account number. This is the platform we're trading on, the leverage, active. Down here, I love it's pretty cool because it will show you your P&L for the month, right? So you can go back and see what you did for July, previous, but it also shows you what you did for the week. How many trades you took, what was your percentage, how many days you're green, how many you're red. And all of this is data that you can use to analyze your trading, because trading is not about execution, it's about review and repetition. So this is a lot of important information for you to understand how to be profitable. Like my community, we're going to send you the trades to make you profitable, but you also want to be able to analyze and look at your data to see how you can perform at a higher level. And also maybe you want to send me your data so I can critique it to see what you can do differently, or what you can do in the sense of, improving to become more efficient and more accurate. And of course, make sure you go to our YouTube, because I'm putting videos there that kind of give you how we trade, how to take a signal. Like I said, I'm going through this video, so you'll see this video up there as well. So you're able to see everything. And of course, if you want to change your username or password or your leverage, you can click here. And of course, if you need your account details, you'll hit review credentials. And I love it. It securely sends it to your email. for your account. And now the email is there, so I can go back to my email and I'll see, okay, I'm getting emails, welcome to Trade Locker, download on desktop, App Store, or Google Play. And then, of course, look, my password, username, password, and server name for my live account. So now that that's set up, you're now able to kind of navigate. But before you can trade, you have to deposit and have funds, right? So all you're going to do is here, you'll go to wallet. You can now deposit where it says make your first deposit. I love that debit and credit's coming soon in bank transfer. For now, you're going to have to use crypto, but it is instant. You would come into here. I use, let's say, the fastest USDC base. Hit continue. If you guys remember, if you look at my withdrawals, I'll fluctuate, but most of my withdrawals are going to come from, I'll show you right here, USDC, because it's the fastest. If I'm getting $70,000, I want that as fast as possible, right? See, got it within a complete amount of time. So just one of those things to keep in mind as you're navigating, right? I'm going to choose the same starting with $5,000. I'm going to hit continue. It's very important that you make sure you know the network you're on with the currency, crypto. Perfect. All I can do here is copy this or scan the QR code into my Coinbase. And then within less than an hour, your funds will be available for you to trade. Now, once your funds are available in your wallet, also you'll be able to see on deposits. If I look at my email, it will send me a deposit request received. And it will also give me the address so I can copy it. And then I can paste it into my crypto exchange and send the funds to my account. Right? So now going back over to here, if I go to wallet, once the funds are here, I'm going to go to internal transfer. I'm going to choose main wallet, and I'm going to choose my scalper account. There will be a max all button, and then I will hit transfer funds, and the funds are now in my account. And now the same thing, if I refresh, right, if I want to take funds out of my live account and put it, 1 second, let me just go back. Oh, there it is. All right, and then take funds from my live account to my wallet. I'll enter the amount. I'll hit transfer funds. Obviously, there's no funds, but it will transfer, and then I'll see it here. Now, same thing next is to withdraw. Same thing. Obviously, you would have already completed KYC verification, so you're all good. Then once that's done, you choose crypto. You'll paste your address, right? You choose your amount. You'll get a verification email to show you how much, you were looking to make at that specific time. And then you put that request in and then wait for it to be approved. And for average withdrawals, take up to about 4 hours, right? And of course, bigger withdrawals, 70,000 or up, can take up to 24 hours, right? So that's how you deposit, withdraw, transfer in between your wallet. We went over the dashboard and interface, and you're able to see your data here, whether it's your demo account or your live account, what's your balance, your equity, and so forth. So now the next thing I want to show you is actually jumping into Trade Locker, right? And of course, we're following along our checklist. So talk about Trade Locker. So this is Trade Locker, right? And this is kind of the same interface that works as like trading. So understanding here is important, but let me first show you how to apply the knowledge, right? So, for example, this is our Telegram and one of our private communities. And this is from June 24th. And I can show you the amount of trades that we've called from then till now. So, for example, you'll see sometimes a trade pop up buy gold XAU by market. That's the pair. I'll shout out to my guy. He had a $10,000 week. More hype. Most of our trades will send with a zone 3983, 3985 is our level. Our stop loss is 3977, and I'll show you this. For example, I'll copy this so when we go on the charts on TradingView, I can show you this live. Pretty much, relatively, this is what our average, couple of weeks in our community is about. We trade most sessions, London session for sure, New York session, and Asian session. We have our live Zooms as well. We do market outlook, every week, every Sunday or Monday, depending on if there's a holiday or what the market's looking for. And look, that was just up until June 30th, right? 5 days. But if I keep scrolling, like, I mean, July was insane, right? In order to have $100,000 month, you got to have equivalent up to $100,000 worth of trades, right? So, it doesn't matter. We're catching 700, 750 pips. I'm breaking down levels, key zones for us to target and look at, the news that we have appearing, NFP, which is non-farm payroll. You can also see that on your economic calendar as well. So the information here is insane. Constantly updating and the trades that people are taking. Another student with a 10K day in the community. I'm going to show you this on TradingView, how analyze the charts. We do have an algo that also sends out scalp trades. As you can see, like, we'll have XAU, we'll say sell, our entry zone, and our stop loss. Stop loss is used for, risk management, which is super important. So relatively here, you're gonna eat, right? Everybody eats. It does take a little adjusting to get to, but once you're in and once you got the ball rolling, everything else kind of falls. And look, this is only up until July 2nd. We're trying to get to the bottom. This is a lot of scrolling, so while you're watching this, you can fast forward. We'll see, like, we'll give you the gold, the level, the stop loss with TPs, and then we're updating you as the trade performs, right? This is what it looks like on certain entries, where price is, how we're catching the best entries. And of course, you see a lot of emojis and everything because energy is contagious, right? When you're making money with hundreds of people and people are effectively changing their lives, right? Through a skill set, it's fun, it's embracing. You want to be able to share that positivity and that energy. And like I said, constant more updates. And every time I take a trade, I send my update as well because, we're trading with you, not for you, but with you. And that's what makes it fun, is because that level of commitment, no matter where we are, is about execution. This was an amazing trade. I'll never forget. I was like, whoa, crazy, right? So I also believe in documentation stops the conversation. So we need to be able to document these things because this journey that we're on, the next goal is 250,000 a month and then $1 million a month. At that point, that's almost over $10 million a year that could be possible all from this skill set, right? And like I said, we'll update whether it's an intraday or scalp trade. And look, this is only July 8th. So as I keep scrolling, this is every day. We're trading every day. We're updating based on the news that's dropping. So you get a full view of just literally what July looked like for us, right? And on our YouTube, there's also a video of what June looked like. So our consistency is there. And the whole point is to have $100,000 weeks, right? Where you can have, a 64, once you get through the journey. And of course, you have to sacrifice and, figure out what aligns with you and make that. But that's where my team and my goal is to help you get to that point and just figure out how do you scale where you are to the next level. Like, look, as I'm still scrolling, we're only in the middle of July. We just try and get through this a little bit faster. Right, wow, look at this. Numbers. It's only July 14th. Wow. It's a lot of trades to keep up with. That's the thing, too. You don't have to worry if you miss a trade because we're always sending trades and we're always looking for optimal setup, especially if news is going to drive price. So these are things that's all help in the long run when it comes to figuring out how much money you want to make here. And if you're going to make this a part of your lifestyle, what exactly that plan is. Like July 16th, 17th, aiming for July 20th. Okay, we're almost there. Boom, active trades. Look, not even over leverage, right? Leverage, catching a huge range, right? That's what it's all about. That's exactly what it's all about. It's just repetition, and having a plan for consistency. Still in July, $5,000 trading day. So I try my best to update everyone as I'm trading as well, just to have it copacetic and keep everyone on the same atmospheric level. Okay, getting to the end of July, perfect. Update after update. Hey guys, and slowly and surely, look, that stuff will fade in or fade out. Boom. Mhm. So this is what I talk about. Documentation really stops the conversation. Because look, this for these results it takes a lot. To document all of this is not walking apart. It requires a lot. So being able to take advantage of that is already a huge incentive. Like July 28th, oh my gosh, we're still not there, right? Another 10K withdrawal, almost there, 29. Boom, 29. Wow. Yeah, there was a lot of trades on the 29th. And then we're pushing into July 30th. July 30th, look, another Zoom dropped. Breaking down the trades, why we're getting in, what we're looking for, how to scale, what our intraday setups looking for, and then we're updating you along the way. So this is an efficient system that allows you to compound your account and grow, but also still make money in the forefront. And that's what I want to see, so that you're able to, persevere and not have to stress about anything else. I know you probably got a lot on your plate, most of you. So it's important to make that sacrifice when you can, to actually study, to actually look at this, to actually try your best to comprehend, so you can have, amazing opportunities like this and not have to be upset or, just be out of control. So here we are. Boom. So that's what it looks like inside our live trade community. So, and now we're here getting ready for a great week. So this is kind of like the full run through. Now let's get back on the chart so I can show you what that looks like. So the quickest way when I open this up, I have a video where I've done it on the phone. As I'm going to look up, let's say XAUSD. Obviously the market is closed, so let's just go to that BTC, right? Because Bitcoin should still be moving. Now, this is a volume bar. You don't need this, so you can take this off. And now look, this is your live chart. All right. So now that I'm on the crypto, let's say I wanted to buy right here. You're going to see this little green button and a red button. The green is buy, red is sell. So let's say I change this to a one lot. I can now select my stop loss from where entry is right here. And boom. So based on where I drag my stop loss, it will show me how much I'm risking. And then I can do the same thing and hit TP, and it'll show me how much I make if it hits TP. 80 pip risk for 160 pip reward. And it's currently in profit. If I was to go down to, let's say, the 5-minute time frame, I could see the trades in profit. And it's fluctuating back and forth for my other entries. Let's say I wanted to close this bad trade right here. I can either just hit X. It's a different story. It's a different level of consistency and flow. So we got some trades. So if I want to close this one because I don't like the way that higher position is going, I still got 2 more trades that are running. Look at that. Now that trade's in profit, so I didn't have to close. So now at the point, if that trade's in profit, I can come right here and hit my stop loss, and I can drag it. You'll hear me always say break even. And see, it's showing me that I'm putting my stop loss here in profit. So if anything happens, it's risk free, right? You're going to hit confirm, and then now guess what? I no longer am risking anything on this specific trade. That's up $26. I'm saying 100 because of the size we're used to trading and how it worked. Boom. And look, now that the trade's moving and in profit some more, I'm going to go ahead now and just move my stop loss a little bit more on profit. Now, let's say for the winning trade, I want to click on the trade, and if I hit this thing that says partial, now that I took partials, I can hit this position again, move the stop loss. Oh, I wish I took this on my live account. And look, I not move my stop loss further in profit. Boom. If I want to take partials again, I'll come here and take off another 2.5. And it's important to keep your lot size the same all throughout your trade so that you're going to win more than you lose. And the consistency does add up. So you want to make sure I did a video that's on the YouTube that you can see that as well. Let's say on this trade now, I want to set I can come here and my take profit. If I drag it right here to this high, it will place it right here, and all I got to do is hit confirm. At this point, I can walk away from the trade because it's already in profit. It's a risk-free trade. The entry's here. I move my stop loss from 60 pips. But look, now that the trade's there, all we have to do is set and forget and wait for the trade to transcribe. But even if it hits where my stop loss and profit is, I'm still walking away with money. So if I could walk away with 100 to 200 per trade, at the end of the week, that's about 800 to 1,000. If you times that by 5, bro, you know that those numbers are already insane. You times it by 12, you know, you're looking at astronomical numbers. So you'll see after like 30, 40 pips, we'll try to take profit. If I want to just close this trade, I could come here and hit close, boom. If I want to close all my positions, I can come here and hit close positions and pending orders, boom. All my trades are, look, we're already up $80. So I can come here and hit close, and it's going to show me my P&L for today, the week, and look, I mitigated my risk and all the other trades I won. And look, my leverage was basically the same. So it's just about the discipline and execution. Now, also here, if I drag over, I can find the pairs this way based on where they're at. So let's say I want to now wait, and I'm going to drag this back, and I want to set a pending order, meaning that when price hits this level, I want to place this limit order. I can choose where my risk is. So I'm risking 208 here. I can hit stop loss. If I drag this down a bit, it will show me where I'm recommending to put my stop loss. And then, of course, go about my day, place this draft, move the stop loss down a bit. All I have to do is hit buy limit at this level. Got my TP, so all price has to do is drop down. I know what my risk is, and I know what my reward is, right? And I have another video that breaks down like proper risk management. But this is how your P&L should look. If you make an 80 to 100 per session, 3 sessions, that's 300. That's 12 to 1,500 a week. Now that we're waiting for that trade, we can move on to the next thing, right? We can switch in between your time frames, and I'll show you that. All right, so now we've seen how to place a buy limit. We went through open and closing trades, choosing between market or pending, how to choose your stop loss, how to use your TP, and of course your tools to navigate your pending orders, your close, your balance, your trades, your history. It's all just knowledge for you to study, to see your wins and losses, and be able to analyze, you know, what's going to make you a profitable trader, right? Outside of the trades we're going to send you, the goal is to learn how to take your own trades so you can heighten and strengthen your skill set, right? And of course, like, we're still following. So we went over trade registration, the Telegram group. Now we're going to talk about and trade locker. So on the last part we're going to go through is trading view, which is one of my favorite parts. So you would click here, and it's going to take you straight to trading view. And see, trading view is going to be your system that helps you look at the market from the actual chart perspective, right? So my favorite pair obviously is gold. That's what we trade in our community, hence the gold room. And once this opens up, you know, I have different levels marked up, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like from a beginner standpoint, so you can kind of start to do it on your own and follow along with us. So this is XAU USD, right? One of the key things I always say is the higher time frame, and using this allows you to see every time frame from any point of view. You can start on the daily time frame, right, to see the direction of the market and how it's moving. Over here you have your watch list, and of course you have your tools like your long position, which, you know, this is for buys, where it gives you your risk reward, which is 1. So 1 right now. If I was looking for sells, which are called shorts, so longs are buys, shorts are sells, right? So I can use my raise, my trend line. So if I wanted to see where the trend was, this is a bearish trend. Obviously we need price to break above a certain level in order for it to be like continuous bullish continuation. But now from a smart money institutional level, price is still bullish because we haven't taken out any lows or dipped into these levels from previous October and November. I mean, you'll learn more about that, so I don't want to make it complicated on that aspect, but just to give you that full overview. Now, A lot of times you'll hear about, 1 to 2 risk rewards and what that looks like, right? So your risk is in the gray. So for example, I'm risking 300, let's say 300 or 300 to make, let's say 800. That's a 1 to 2.6. If I want to make a 1 to 2, it would be I'm risking 300 to make 600, right? So 300 points to make 600 points on target. That's a 1 to 2 risk reward. A 1 to 1 will be 300 to 300, which I don't really take and I don't recommend taking, because if you're gonna risk, what you risk, you want to be able to make not just one time but 2 times, right? Obviously you buy low, and then of course same thing from the sell, you will sell high, right? Now obviously that's just on simple terms. I have other videos that you can look at to give you more for detailed breakdown. You can also use this tool to measure. So if I wanted to measure how much the market moved in a period of time, this moved 795 points, or what we say are called pips, within a period of time. If I wanted to add a text, like say this is a lower low, or a swing low, or just a low, I can use the text to write and label. Sometimes when I'm sending out trades, for example, and it's a buy, the same way I write it out, I can also put it here. So let's say it was at this level, okay, buy at 5124, which is right here where price is, right? TP would be up here, which is your take profit, at 5472, and my stop loss would be right there, 4818. This is how we send our trades if we can't send the chart, because the market's moving during that time. And like I said, the reference, what that looks like, would be like this. Hey, buy XAU by market. This is the level we're looking at, and this is our stop loss, right? So just constant understanding that everything's all connected all across the board, right? Let me go ahead and start over. So I like to analyze on the hour and 15 minutes to see where direction is. So obviously if this is a selling market, I want to catch a reversal. You'll learn about a method called, I always say where liquidity is, but that's a little too advanced for now. But you'll be able to learn to see, like, this is a triple top. Okay, you can sell on the third end here. So for a trade like this, if I was gonna, let's say, rewind it just to test, okay, on the 15-minute, prices hit this level 1, 2, and now 3 times. This is an indication that price doesn't want to go higher. This level also has equal highs, which is a level of resistance once it popped up. So I could say, okay, my goal is to short here. I'm going to put my stop loss just above these highs, which is 100 pips, and I want to target a 1, 2, 3 or 3.1 or 1 to 4 risk for reward. And then I would plug these numbers in. I would hit sell. I would literally come here, and if it was the right number, I'd hit sell, and then I'd plug the stop loss in, and then I'll leave the TP open, so that once the market plays out, you see the market is in, continues, hits the level, hits it again, a little bit of drawdown, boom. See, at that point with that candle, once this candle came down, I would have moved this stop loss to break even, like I showed you on the broker, and then have this as a risk-free trade and wait to see if it plays out. Because the name of the game is preserving capital, right? The more money you can preserve, the better, right? So this is where traveling's fun, and doing certain things is fun, but you might want to focus on, what's going to make you the money first, right? And as you can see, the price came up, barely touched our entry, and then we're able to see a full dive a full face dive, right? So it's a lot of different things that can happen or take place, but you also have to understand what this looks like from a professional level. And boom, the price already sold off, and our TP hit, so we would have gained 340 pips, and our drawdown was mitigated from a risk to proper risk management. Perfect. So now that the market's open, I can actually show you guys a live example. So let's say I'm looking at XAUSD right here. Okay, obviously, let's say the market's buying up. Let me drag this here. Right, obviously this is a demo account over here, so it's practice. So let's say I use a two lot and I wanted to buy and I entered, right? I'm in the two lot, it's in profit, right? The market's pushing up. If I want to edit this position, I can click it and I can hit stop loss, and then it will show me what I'll lose if I place it right here. Or if I place it right here, I'll lose $1,000. Now the same thing is if I want to find a TP, which is a take profit, I can press it again and my take profit would be here, right? So now we're trading within a range and I'm waiting for price to push up. At any point in time, I can hit right here, which goes break even. It'll update my stop loss. And guess what? Now this is risk free, which is important when you guys are taking trades, is you want to preserve your capital. Obviously, you want to see this trade run, so I'll bring this down a little. And you're going to follow those parameters. So if it was like buy gold at 40.50, the signal would look like this. Buy XAU USD, 40.50 to 40.58. Stop loss is going to be at, let's say, 40.45. Or, yeah, 40.46. So if this is a signal that pops in the group chat, right? Your entry is at 40.50 right here. Your stop loss is going to be at 40.45, which is right here. And then your take profit is going to be your target in the opposite side of the market, which are going to be the highs. So that's pretty simple. Now, let's say I wanted to close, it's a two lot. So let's say I wanted to close a partial. When you hear me say like take partials, I'm going to hit this right here, the partial button. I'm going to adjust how much I want to close. And then I'm going to hit close, and it automatically reduces my position. Now, once price pushes up a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and start to move my stop loss up. And once we're fully more in profit, I'm going to move my stop loss here, meaning that if it hits my stop loss, I'll still walk away with $16 profit. But you do this to preserve your capital and make sure you don't lose any money. Now, I didn't place it yet, but you notice how it came back in with that area. I'm only at $49. So if I was to hit confirm, if it hits it, it will knock me out right away. Right, so boom, now I'm knocked out. But when I go to my closed trades, it shows that I made 246 for the day, right? It knocked me out here and here, and this was the trades we took earlier. So still for the week, this was like an actual count. I'm up 246. Now, when you do the math, you got to think compounding effect, right? If I was to now take another trade, and let's say Marcus, your first entry, you're looking for a re-entry, I want to lower my risk, right? And I'm going to go one lot. Now, once this trade's in profit, right, I can get ready to go to break even, right? Or I'll just trail my stop, right? So like now it's in profit, and now my stop loss will trail, right, as it starts to move back up. I can move my trail and stop loss here so that once price pushes up, I'm back in profit. I can either manually close or just set to break even. So you may have to get into a trade more than once, and that's perfectly fine, right? But it's all about just being consistent and just having this accord where it works for you. So now look, trade's moving, price is pushing, this is good. Look, notice how my trail stop loss goes up so that I'm not going to lose anything. And look, now it's automatically in profit and it's running on its own. This is how you, some water, this is how you look, and look, it's pushing. And this is how you are able to trail your stop loss while your trade's being pushed and executed, right? And that's what I want you guys to realize, is that trading is about risk, but this is what we call risk management. The more you can preserve your capital, the more money you're going to make, right? The more you're going to be able to fluctuate in between the markets and get better entries, in order to catch ranges where now you're making generational money, right? So it's all about, resilience and consistency. And look, it hit the trail stop loss, but guess what? I'm now up, I think, another 100 and something. Wait until this refreshes, right? And what you practice in demo, like 339, is how you should be able to trade live. It's the same thing. The only difference is this says demo, and when you trade, it's going to be live. So you don't want to have that emotional attachment. You want to be able to conserve your risk, especially when the market's indecisive and trying to figure out what it wants to do, right? But off of 2 scalps with that nice lot size, you have room to work and adjust accordingly. So now let's look at this from a trader standpoint, right? If we're looking for buys, it's very important for you to mark the low. This is our low right here, and you can label it, right? And let's say this is our high up here. All price does takes a low and then it takes a high, right? And our goal is to catch that rebalance, see how price can move in order for it to adjust to our target and give us the leverage that we need, right? So, for example, I would buy up here, I would buy down here. Because like if I buy up here, even though it may go into profit, my stop loss now has to be where? All the way at this low, right? That's 640 points, $643 I'm risking, but it doesn't have to be that way. Versus here, I could risk less, right? So see, now I'm automatically in drawdown because I got a bad, this is what we call a bad entry. Now, granted, if we get a bad entry, you want to measure, you never want to be more than 30 pips from your original entry. So 30 pips here would be your re-entry versus this is where your entry would have been. Anything 30 pips or more, which now means it's 60 pips above, is putting yourself in unnecessary drawdown and headache, right? And that's what you don't want to have, across the board. You want to have the best entries and be able to preserve your capital efficiently. So see, now that the market's pushing, I can instantly come right here while I'm in this trade, right? Go to positions, and you can do this on your phone as well. And once I see it's at a point, I can just say, hey, you know what? Let me go trail stop loss. From here, and as price moves up, this will move up as well, right? Or I can just bring my trail stop loss a little bit closer, right? Just in case, because I'm using a larger position. If price pushes down too quick, I'd rather hit the stop loss than having all this, notice as price moves up, it moves up. So it's cutting down your risk as price continues to go that direction. So this is some of the key things that makes trading pretty smooth and allows you to move and adjust and maneuver in the right way. Now, obviously, when I drag this over here, you can use here to search your peers. Obviously, you can trade commodities, cryptos, energies, forex, crosses, exotics, and while I look at price go. So you notice how price is going and my trail stop loss is moving. Majors, indexes, and metals. When you're able to change the time frame, same thing you would do on TradingView. You can go 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, one daily. Remember, we always start with the top down analysis. If I'm doing a pending order, like I want to set a pending trade, I'd put it here, and let's say I hit stop loss. And this is my stop loss with the pending order. And then my TP could be like here. And I want this to be a buy limit. I hit buy, and automatically it's there. And I can click this and adjust to be like, okay, I'm going to risk this amount, and I have a pending order, so when price comes down, it could wick. Now look, over here, my trail stop loss is still moving, and look, we're aiming for this high. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right, and now, even if it reverses, it's going to close this trade out, and this was another scalp example. So I'm showing you this so you guys can understand how to catch these market maker moves and just being able to, follow along with the trades that I'm sending out and the team sending out so that you can effectively get the best entries and, of course, make money, right? This is what it's about. Automation, nothing's going to make it as smooth as you can make this and being able to capitalize from start to finish. And look, it moved, it gave us 30, 40 pips. Anything after 30 pips should already be at break even or partials. And look, but we're still up now, let's say 500 for the day. And our stop loss is here for our next pending order. Then now we have to wait. And we see that price is displacing higher, meaning that we'll more than likely come back to this level. So this is what makes trading convenient, and just being able to be more accurate. And then what we can do now is jump on the trading view. Now that I've been able to show you how to place a trade, how to move a pending order, how to move your stop loss, even on the pending order, right? And then just, of course, the difference between buying and selling and choosing your leverage. There's another video that you'll watch, which will help you understand lots and how to use certain lots to make X amount of dollars for depending on what part of life you're trying to complete, whether it's groceries, bills, rent, freedom, travel, quitting your job. It's all comes down to the lot size. If you can make $30, you can make 300. If you can make 300, you can make 3,000. If you can make 3,000, you can make 30,000. And I know this because I've done all those levels, right? Shit, if I can make 100,000, that means I know I can make $1,000,000, right? And so it's all about just adjusting the numbers, having psychology, risk management, and just having delusional faith that you're going to be able to execute and excel to that level. See, and now price is rebalancing slowly and making its way up to take out these highs. And this is what I said. You can look at this as a box method. All we did was come down, sweep the lows, turtle soup it, find the clean entry, and now we're pushing price higher. So love it. I love it. I love it. I hope this video was very helpful. And as you get through the rest of the videos and you start with the Get Started Guide, any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM. Hit me up on Instagram at Coach Platinum, and I got you. So before a session starts, I always say you want to start on the 4-hour and kind of see where the market is. Obviously, the market has been within a range, so we know where our low is, which is where I have a current pending buy limit, and we see that we have some type of gap. The market opened up. So know your highs and lows. What I like to do is I like to put things in a box, right? And I'm going to use my fib to show you. I'm going to take this swing low to this swing high. And you can't see it, but right here, which is 0.5, that's a 50% threshold for me. So I'm going to put a line right here. And on this line, this is one of the things I use to indicate, what I'm trading. I'm going to look at, put this in a box, and I'm going to put this in red. I'm going to put this in a box and put this in green, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and delete the fib retracement tool. And look, all this now shows me is two things. The green is going to be my buy zone, right? Which is, we call it discount, buy zone. And red, or premium, is going to be my sell zone, right? So when price pushes up, let's say here, I'm no longer looking for buys. I'm going to have to wait until we hit a point to sell. As price dips into this discount zone, I'm looking for buys. This just helps you understand the market on a higher time frame level, especially when you're intradaying and scalping. Obviously, there's more technical stuff that I go over, throughout the academy and throughout training. But this is just one of the fundamental things to help you guys understand where you are in the market and always being able to see, the direction or the side that you're on, right? So you want to see that zone. So you should be looking for buys. You're in the sell zone. You should be looking for sells. And you'll use your method to find your internal or external liquidity, or your equal highs and equal lows, or your triple top and triple bottom. These are all just concepts that people use to identify price reversal moments and things like that, and I won't make it too advanced, but as you're diving into this journey, these are the things you want to look for. And this is just what's going to make your trading a little bit easier, knowing what side of the market you are and noticing that when you get near that equilibrium, that 50% area, price tends to consolidate before it actually makes a move. So sometimes a slow movement, you have to wait until price will sweep and take liquidity, and then you catch an entry, or price will reject, still take the highs, reject, and then sell off into a buy. Remember, sellers sell to buyers, and buyers eventually sell to sellers. That's all the market is doing. There are buyers and sellers on both sides, and it's a constant fight in between the both of them. So hopefully once you start to apply this, and as you go through our curriculum and education, you'll start to see this a little bit better and understand where you are in the market, and also why we're taking certain trades at certain key levels. So hopefully this video was good, and I will see you guys on the charts and at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. And real quick, I know, oh my gosh, we closed that trade, but look at that bad boy go, right? It came through and ran through the highs as we said. And now we just have to wait for the price to give us another entry as we continue into the session. This is what trading's about. It's just having an analysis, understanding, so this would have been the fire signal, even though we took partials. It was already up. It already did 120 pips from initial entry. So just keep that in mind and just, practice what you preach, and, you'll be able to execute and get these exact setups as we go along. So I appreciate you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the break.